It is finals time. Finals time meaning it's my Nailed It project. And for my Nailed It project, I'm doing a German chocolate pie, as so the video title displays. Good luck. Let's hope I don't mess this up. Last time I didn't. Oh yeah, by the way, this is take number 2. A different day. Because I was an idiot. Deleted my first video footage, so I'm gonna act like I don't know what I'm doing. Does that sound like a good idea? It sounds like a grand idea. So first I'm going to start with the pie dough. My directions are off to the side, so don't mind me if I keep looking off into no man's land. So first off I'm going to start with my flour. I need 1 1/4 cups of flour, and then we're going to do a quarter, oh, getting that right? Yeah. So there is that. Now I need I need salt first. Haha. Gotta add my 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which is right here. I'm gonna add this in there, and then we're gonna stir that together. Oop. Yeah, a little salt never hurt anyone, right? So then we're gonna stir it together with the back of this, because I don't want to dirty more dishes, because that'd be a pain in the head. It's probably gonna be a pain in the head already, but you know what? We're gonna go with it. That's all stirred together, so now I'm going to cut in my 6 tablespoons of butter, and by cutting it in, I'm going to cube it first, which is like cutting it into tiny little squares, and then I am going to mix it all together with my pastry blender that's off to the side right there. Not like that is, you can do this with like a fork or probably a knife too, or maybe your hands, I don't care, whatever you feel like doing. Each to their Put that in there. I have a pastry blender, and we're gonna start. And now we speed through all of this. Blend this, you want to make sure it wants it to be crumbly, but at the same time you don't want like massive butter chunks of mixture to be crumbly. So there's that. So right now it is about as crumbly as I think it should be. So we're just gonna put that off to the side, and I'm going to cry later when I have to clean up, because I don't like cleaning. So yeah, my hand's all floury, my table's all floury, but that's okay, that's what part of baking is. The next step is I need cold water. So I've got my bowl of ice water. I'm gonna use this little doo-wopper to measure out my tablespoons. The recipe says 3 to 4, so we're gonna start with 3 and go from there. So that's the 3. I need a fork. Ta-doo! It says to mix that in with a fork, or cut it in with a fork. My guess is so you don't crumble it anymore. But it's gotta be wet enough for the dough to form together and like stick together, so it can form into its happy little disc, to then be chilled in the freezer. Not freezer, chilled for about 30 minutes or overnight. And this has already gone on for 2 days, and I'm not going to do it overnight. So we're gonna put it in the fridge for 30 minutes. But I need more water, so I'm going to add that extra tablespoon in there, so bloop, there we go. And back to mixing. Hi, doggy. Hi. So it's sticking together now, so I'm just gonna like lay it out, and so I can like work with it out of the bowl, because I think maybe that's gonna work better. I do this with pasta dough all the time, so I have hopes that this will work. Part of me thinks I need more water, so I'm gonna add more. Because why the heck and heck not? Oh, that's all over the table. It's fine though. It's okay. We're okay. Everything's okay. Let's say that's good enough, right? Yeah? I mean, it's sticking together. We'll see if that's what it wants. That still doesn't feel right though. I feel like it still needs to be wetter. I'll add more water. Yeah? Maybe just a little bit? Just a smidgen? Boop. That's a smidgen, right? That's a smidgen too. Does it say how long to work this for? Just until it's like malleable? That's a big word for me. So we're gonna see. It's a dough ball. So I guess this is good. So now I have to lay down some plastic wrap and put it on the plastic wrap and then shape a little disc out of it. But I need to go wash my hands because I don't want to get our plastic wrap all disgusting. Back again. Now I have my plastic wrap right here, so I'm just gonna take this out. Oh, that's nice. Apparently we're going to be difficult today. Take this, lay it onto our counter, stick our little dough baby right there, and squish it down into a disc. So now it is wrapped in a disc, and we're gonna wrap it up. And here we are. Nice little disc. So I'm going to put this in the fridge for about 30 minutes and I'll be back in 30 minutes, which for you will be 1 second. Doggy distraction break. So it is 30 minutes later. Now I have my unwrapped pie dough and I have a pre-floured surface. So I can roll out this. My oven is preheating, so while that is preheating, I'm going to roll this out. I have my pie pan, as stated, in directions that you cannot see. So I'm going to take this and roll out my pie dough into a disc, keeping it in a somewhat circular shape, so when I put it into my pie pan, it will be a lot easier to shape and put along the outsides of it. It says to get it about 1/8 of an inch thick, but I really don't want to measure that out, so we're just gonna eyeball it and go from there. Oh boy, I need a spatula. Okay, well that's out. We're gonna take it and transfer it onto our pie dipper pan. Oh yeah, that's very thick. Ooh, that was the preheated oven. Now we're preheating the oven to blind bake our pie dough, and when you blind bake something, you pre-bake it so it keeps its shape and it doesn't like get all bubbly and flat, like not flat, but it gets all, so it doesn't get all bubbly and misshapen or misformed when you bake the initial thing. So like this filling, it's a wet filling, so you need to pre-bake it so it doesn't like seep through the bottom of the pie crust. And now I am just bringing it up the sides so I can then trim the sides if I need to and give it a nice pretty design if I so feel it necessary. And giving the design is fluting if I remember correctly, but I don't really want to be all that fancy. I just need it up and in crust formation. So I'm going to smooth out the bottom. So now that we have the pie dough all ready, I need to line it with a double thickness of foil to blind bake it and unpoke it. And I was gonna poke it, so good thing I read the directions. Well, remember the directions. And it says you can use pie weights or dried beans, and I have beans, so we're gonna use beans. Adding our beans, just enough to give it some weight on the bottom. Don't have to fill it up all the way. And voila! Now we're going to put it in the oven. So while our pie dough is baking, I'm going to be making the filling, and by making the filling, I need to start with 2 ounces of unsweetened chocolate and 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. It wanted German chocolate, but I didn't. We're just gonna use semi-sweet because I want to. So we're going to take our chocolates and we're going to melt them in the microwave. You could use a double boiler for this, but I don't want to because that's a lot of dishes. So that was about an ounce. I need 1 more ounce of that. So there is 2 ounces of unsweetened chocolate. And we're going to eyeball the other 4 ounces of this. That looks like 4 ounces. Yeah, so I'm going to put this in the microwave. Start with 30 seconds and go from there. While that is doing its thing, I'm going to separate my egg yolks from my egg whites so I can use my 4 egg yolks for my filling. And 4. Wash my hands. I'm melting my chocolate in 30-second intervals because I don't want to burn my chocolate. For another 30 seconds. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. So now that this is all melted, gotta stir it up till it's nice and smooth. Now we have to set this aside while it lets it cool off, and I'm gonna open our sweetened condensed milk, and then we're going to combine the sweetened condensed milk, our egg yolks, and our vanilla, and our 1 cup of chopped pecans, but I haven't chopped them yet, so we'll do that in this step while the chocolate is cooling. Are all nice and chopped, so I'm gonna let that cool off just a little bit more, and by doing that I'm gonna go grab my whisk or spatula to stir it in. Spatula. So this has cooled off a little bit by now, so we're gonna stir it just a little bit more to make sure that there's no chunks in there. We're going to add the condensed milk and the egg yolks. Scrape out all the sweetened condensed milk that's in there. Bring the cooler one in first, just in case, to play it safe. Because I don't like eggs to begin with, so the last thing I want is something in a pie, is scrambled eggs in a pie. Because I don't really like pie to begin with either, so it's a struggle bus for all of us. So now I'm going to add my egg yolks. I'm just going to stir it in. When I'm stirring, I got to make sure I get down my sides. Now I'm going to add my 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Teaspoon? Oh wait, no, that's a tablespoon. Ooh, that would have been bad. Here's my teaspoon. There is that. I know! So my pie dough isn't done, so I needed to put it back in the oven for about 5 minutes before I remove the pie weights, and then put it back in for another 6 minutes so it can get nice and golden. So we'll check in then. So my pie crust is ready to go back in for another about 6 minutes. Pie weights are removed, so we're going to put her back in and check in when she's ready. Reduce it to 350. And while that cools, we'll wait for this to kind of chill down a little bit, and then we'll add our filling and put it back in. While that's doing its thing, we will make our topping. Hi! From another angle, we're gonna start our topping while our pie crust is in there. And for our topping, we need half a cup of heavy whipping cream, which I have right here. And we're going to put it in here after we get our stick of butter, which I need a quarter cup of cubed butter. So I'm going to take this, cube it up. So a fourth of a cup is a quarter. So I'm just going to cube this up. And I have to get my brown sugar. I'm going to take my half a cup of heavy whipping cream right here and put it into this pot. So I've measured out half a cup of my heavy whipping cream and I'm going to put it into my bowl, pot, saucepan thing. And then I need half a cup of packed brown sugar. Gonna go wash my hands. And now I'm gonna turn the heat on. So I need to melt it until it is boiling. No more, no less. And then I need to take it off the heat so I can add my egg. Then I gotta put it back on the heat. So this is what we've got so far. As you can see, it's starting to do a little bubbling, which means it's gonna be boiling here in a minute. And that's good, because that's what we want. So there is that. Now that it's boiling, I'm going to take it off the heat so it doesn't burn. Okay. Turn that flame down so I don't burn myself. I have to take my eggs, put them in a bowl, and then add a little bit of the hot mixture to introduce it so it doesn't cook my eggs. Do this so we don't scramble it. Oh my goodness, I'm pale. You're welcome. Stir it a lot. Get a, ooh, don't fall please. Scrape out all the eggs. Set that off to the side. And put it back onto the heat and heat it until it is thick. Gotta do this for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now that it's thickened, I'm gonna remove it from the heat. Put that aside and grab our coconut and our vanilla. Sorry for the loud noises. Here's the coconut. And now for our vanilla, which I left my spoon over here. So this is what we're working with here. Oops. You can see that? It's thick and kind of caramelized, and we gotta let that cool for 10 minutes, and in that amount of time our pie will be done. Now we gotta put it into the fridge and let it chill for about 4 hours.